In this video, I am ditching the stock steering wheel in my C5 and installing this Momo Monte Carlo. I think it's a 350 millimeter wheel, and this NRG hub adapter and the quick release. So first step is going to be disconnecting the battery. I'm going to do that right now. To do that, using this 8 millimeter wrench, I'm going to disconnect the negative. Psych, that wasn't the first step. First step is going to be to turn your steering wheel to the side like that, because there are some T27 screws on the back side of it that you need to remove, and they're like back here. So you got to turn your wheel to the side. So I'm going to pull the key out and then disconnect the battery again. Here's screw number 1. Screw number 2. And off comes the airbag. Let's see what we're working with here. So I'll pull this ground off. Does this come off? I might just have to cut this. Not sure. I ended up just yanking on that plastic connector. Oh, plastic connector right there on that red wire, and pulled everything out. I don't know if that was the right move. I might have to figure out a way to get that back in a little bit once I get deeper into this, but we'll see. And then this connector, you just pop this off and then yank up on it and it'll come off. Then I'm going to remove that nut in the center. I'm using a 21 millimeter socket on my impact, but I'm not going to remove it all the way. Just most of the way. Now they make a tool that'll hook into here and here, and then I mean, a lot of other people on YouTube use this, so you can watch the process if I'm able to get away with doing this without it. But it hooks into here and here, and then you tighten a bolt on the center there, and it pulls the steering wheel off. In the past, with other steering wheel installs that I've done, I've been able to just loosen up the nut a bunch and then yank on the steering wheel super hard and it comes off, but we'll see if that works here. Oh boy. All right, so I tried just pulling on it at first, wasn't quite getting it, so I went to AutoZone, rented the tool to get it, and then you can see the chunk of it down here, right here. Those little J-hooks I was talking about? Yeah, I freaking broke one. So I had to come back and figure something else out. So what I did is I just held one hand on the side of the steering wheel and pulled on it, and then I took my rubber mallet and just smacked it from this side, and eventually I got it. So that was my trick, and we'll see what to do from here. The next step is going to be to pull off that clip right there, and then pull the clock spring off. So I could not get that on camera. So that clip is off. Now I just pull this clock spring off. Man, it is hard to do this stuff one-handed. So to pull this clock spring off, you actually have to remove a couple of screws on the underside of here, of these trim pieces. And then, because it has these little like ears that are up in here, so it hits that when you pull it out. So now I need to figure out this wiring. So this goes to a yellow connector on the underside there, and I need to put a resistor in that loop to trick it into thinking it still has an airbag. So I have a couple of options. I could just disconnect down there and put the resistor down there. I could just cut this right here, put a resistor right there. I think I think I'm just gonna leave it connected on the underside here. There's a male and a female connector right there. I'm just gonna cut the side that comes to this clock spring, and then I'm just gonna pull everything out because there's actually zip ties holding the wires together like up under here, and I don't feel like getting to that honestly, so I'm just gonna cut it down there, pull this out, and then put my resistor up under there, and it'll all be hidden. Should work fine, I would imagine. Well, hopefully that's focused. My phone is pretty much pressed up against my face, so I can't really see much. But that yellow connector there is what I'm talking about. And this wire here, or this pair of wires, goes up to the clock spring. So if I cut it right, like say right there, and put a resistor in there, it should complete that circuit and trick the car into thinking it still has an airbag. And then it will be all tucked up under here and it'll be out of the way. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, so I cut those wires, and then the clock spring just pulled right out, no problem. I'm going to put this positive wire right back in here, and hopefully that won't be in the way when I go to put on the hub adapter, but if it is, I'll just pull it right back off again. This is the connector that I cut earlier for the clock spring. So what I'm going to do, I connected the clock spring back to the airbag and then measured resistance across it, and I measured about 2.5 ohms. So I got this kit of resistors on Amazon, and you can see right there, there's a 2.2 ohm resistor that it comes with. That's pretty close. So I'm going to grab one of those and solder it across here. So that simulates the airbag still being in the circuit. So it should trick the car into thinking it still has an airbag. And there it is, all soldered up. I measured 2.2 ohms across that, so we should be good to go. And there it is, all installed. Bloop, 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 bloop. All right, I got the hub adapter on. I really hope I have it lined up right because I had to torque it down quite a bit. I basically had to press it on like the old steering wheel was. So if it's not aligned correctly, I have to use a ton of force to try and get it off. But these are threaded, so this might be easier to get off with a steering wheel puller if I need to. Anyway, we'll see. They're on the inside of this, on the like original Corvette side. There's a line that's painted facing that way, and I turned my steering wheel that way. So I believe that is the indicating the center top position of the wheel. And then there's a dot right here. Sorry, this lighting sucks. My shop has like one light in it. So I'm using my cell phone, but there's this dot here. So I tried to line that up with in the same spot as that line, but we'll see. So now I need to work on wiring. This quick release right here on the ground has this female connector. This has a male connector on it, so that should plug right in. Now, on the quick release, the positive has this male connector, and I had just stripped this off. So I'm going to put a female connector on here, and then hook it up to the quick release here, and then the quick release should just bolt on to the adapter. So I will resume once I have everything put together here. I finished up that wiring and then put the quick release with the Energy logo facing up. So that's on now. Now I have the other portion of the quick release. So I'm just gonna attach it to here. It'll pop right on. And then I'm gonna bolt the steering wheel up to whatever whatever holes it lines up with. There it is. The steering wheel's all bolted on, the horn's all wired up. It's good to go. Turns from lock to lock, no problem. It rubs a little bit on that trim piece there, but I think that's normal. No airbag light. So before I forget, I have to give a shout out to Momo, because I actually bought this steering wheel through Amazon, not through Momo. So technically there's two separate purchases, as it was explained to me. So I buy it from Amazon, and then Amazon purchases it from Momo. So really, like, I'm not supposed to be able to just deal directly with Momo. And when it was delivered, there's that little scratch above the first M on the horn button. And I was kind of hoping to get a new horn button. But if I went through Amazon, I'd have to ship back everything, this whole wheel and everything, to get a refund just for that little scratch. So I hit up Momo, and he was kind of reluctant to just give me a new horn button, which I understand, you know, based on the fact that I didn't really buy it through Momo. But he's supposed to, their customer service guy is supposed to be sending me a replacement horn button for free today or tomorrow. So that's pretty cool of them. They didn't really have to help me out in this situation. And I mean, no guarantees if you run into something similar that they'll do the same for you, but it was pretty cool. I was pretty excited that he was able to help me out with that horn button, just because that's really good customer service. And I feel like I usually don't get good customer service from most places. So anyhow, just figured I'd, you know, give them a shout out, because that was really cool of them. It's a really nice wheel. I really like it. Feels really high quality. I had Personal's, like, their cheapest steering wheel in my old Toyota pickup, and it was a little, like, I could bend it a little bit, and the quality of the, I mean, it was a different material on the, you know, the steering wheel itself, on the outside portion. It was like a vinyl, and it just felt cheap and flimsy. For the money, I'm not complaining. It was like $100 and something, but and this Momo was like twice as much money. So I'm not talking down about Personal. You get what you pay for, you know what I mean? But just this here now is a huge step up, in my opinion, from that other wheel. Personal does make good wheels. You spend more money, you probably get a much better wheel. So again, not talking crap about them, but yeah, I'm just really stoked about this wheel. I can't wait to drive it. It's just so much less chunky and bulky than the stock C5 wheel. So anyhow, I think that's just going to do it for this video, and thanks for watching. Appreciate it.